Bear me 1 second, brother. Right, that's just muted. Okay, so back on the Zoom. Close this. Okay, SweeneyTV, Phalon Mcknight, Texas Barber. How are you, brother? Welcome to the show. And it's an honor to have you on.
Glad to be here, bro.
Brilliant, man. Brilliant. So just a brief description. How long have you been barbering and when did you start?
Man, I've been barbering like professionally probably like about 10 years or so. But I started way back in like early 90s, probably. Like so just a real start. Like my grandmother, she had long hair on pictures and stuff. And I saw her long red hair and stuff. And as a youngin', when I met her, and started to get to knowing her as Granny, she had a shortcut. So she would take me to the local barber shop in Compton. And that was all I would know, from that point. Going fast forwarding a little bit fast forward, when I got older, we had split the household. So she had moved and went on to another area. I moved to the section out of Compton to a nicer neighborhood, and they didn't have barbers. So one of my relatives from Louisiana moved out, and he was cutting my hair for a little while. And he started getting into the grills a lot more, man. So on Fridays, he would burn out like in the middle of all my haircuts. And he would just leave me stuck there like, I'll be back. So the whole weekend passed, man. I'm going around with patches in the head and stuff like that. So I couldn't really go outside. So one day he was just like, look, go ahead and finish the cut yourself. I'll be back. I ended up finishing the cuts and stuff like that, man. And next thing you know, getting pretty good at it. And started cutting people throughout the neighborhood, and it went from there. So I was cutting people that really couldn't afford cuts or get to a barber. I would just, get them cut so they can just look fresh,
Yeah.
And then professionally, I ended up leaving a big company. I don't know if you guys know, it's like Bed Bath & Beyond. It's like a big sister company called Bye Bye Baby. So I was like this big customer service guy working for them, like training all their customer service people. And I ended up going to school, man, and then taking it serious, got licensed, and took all the business stuff that I collected overall from different companies and different avenues I have taken in my life, and then geared it directly into my barbering, and then built my brand, built everything that worked hard for me finally throughout all this time. So I took my passion for what I had been doing a long time ago, man. And and it just brought me to different places.
So just elaborating on what you just said there, you've moved about a little bit. So where did you start?
Where did I start?
Yeah, because you said that like you moved to Louisiana, they didn't have any barbers, but you obviously you started.
No, I had a cousin that moved out from Louisiana.
He moved out from Louisiana, and he a barber?
Nah, he was just what we call a shade tree mechanic. He was a shade tree barber. He just pop up on you and cut your hair. He didn't pay me. So I started a long time ago. Like once he was messing up my hair and left me stranded a few times, I ended up cutting my own hair myself. So I'm in there with like the mirror and I'm going all in, from the jump. And so when I learned that, I went into the different neighborhoods and started cutting people that couldn't afford cuts. And getting everybody that was fresh, and like moms that couldn't go to the barber shops, I was cutting, for like $5. I'm like 6th grade, 5th grade or something like that. I mean, starting off, and then it just went from there.
So you just built up a business just from the local community, and now you got your own shop, and you got your own clientele base, and obviously you established barber, brother. So obviously, like, being over in the US, I'm over in the UK. Obviously, like, things are a lot different over here. We use scissors a lot. Like you guys, like, obviously, like you've been like clippers all the way through. And I just want to talk about that really, brother. Like, like going into like fading, clippers, all these different new tools out, just have a little talk about that.
Well, that it depends on the person. You know, my motto, I'm gonna cut everything that's in my seat. So if I'm a master barber, I'm gonna have to get into the shear game, whatever it is, comb over. I'm gonna have to be global in what I do. So when anybody comes into my chair, I'm gonna have to service that client. So some barbers tend to stray away from curly hair or the scissors. Some barbers tend to stay away from our texture hair, which is a lot more curly, but it depends on your race. My thing is, I mean, if this is your game, you jump in. If you playing basketball and the coach tell you to sub in the next play, you the next man up. You need to jump on in and jump up. So you have to be able to get all that clientele, man. You know what I mean? Cut all people, all hair textures, everything. So I mean, I love the going in with the shears, and I also love the clippers and the design. So I mean, it's art to me. I love it.
That's good, man. That's good. So you guys use scissors a lot more now than you did back in the 90s.
Oh yeah. You know,
Because I have noticed a lot of barbers are actually like layering and sectioning now, which is good to see.
oh yeah. You know, the ball fades didn't really come into like the Will Smith era, you know, like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the TV show.
Yeah, the 90s.
You notice his cuts were like just blunt cuts, just ball and then bam, it was going up. And then over the time, as the series progressed, you start seeing the fades. So you know that with the evolution of hip hop and everything around, that started being more of a fade. I mean, a style out here to where the drops and the designs coming into it from what we've seen in our area. You know,
it's amazing the barbering culture with hairstyles and the evolution, isn't it? It's how they've progressed so much now. Like to do a bald fade now, you need foilers, you need trimmers, you need clippers, you know, you need scissors, you're sectioning, you're using different types of grips, you're using different types of oils, you're using fibers, enhancements. It's like, you know, do you use all that in your shop, brother?
I've seen barbers use it. I've seen them in plenty of barber shows. I personally don't use the actual enhancement as far as the fibers. I want the person to try to leave out as natural as can be. In my, you know, from my point of it, because I would just try to fix whatever they have and make it to where it's fitting their structures. I've seen some people do excellent jobs with the fiber. I have people that wanted the barbers, I mean the beards done with the enhancement and everything. And we kept it in the shop. We kept the money in the shop, and we passed it on to the next barber. You know, it was something I didn't personally wasn't able to do, but I passed it on to the next guy.
Yeah. So, like, you know, barbering in general over there, like, it's got different levels to it, hasn't it? It's like, you know, you got your apprentice level, you got your barber level, you got your master barber level, and so on. Like, talk about the levels of barbering which you guys go through over there.
Well, we have competition barbers, you know, and then within that frame of it, you have a whole different you have different levels of competition, from your speed fades, your comb overs, from your designs to your many different parts of the game, even your enhancements. Some barber shows will take the enhancements out. Some of them will allow it. You know, it depends on who's running it. I've been in both, you know what I mean, and I've seen them score pretty high. Then you have some barbers that are like consider themselves just strictly shop barbers. They'll do your Instagram, your Facebooks, and different levels of the game like that, even photos. And they'll have like an array of assortments of barber work, you know, their art.
Yeah.
But they won't go into a show. Then you have some people that'll just do show, and they won't even step into a shop. I know one guy, he was like your number one barber as far as competition, but he wasn't licensed to actually work into the shop. So he ended up having to set that aside, go back and get the education part of it to become legal, to actually certify to actually cut into a shop. So I've seen all different levels of it, all the way to barbers that don't even want you to take a picture. You know, we consider those kind of like respectable way to say it, like old school barber.
Yeah, for the clients.
They like just to walk in. They like their personal one-on-one with the client. They don't have any Instagram no Facebooks, no Twitter, no anything that will actually show their work. They'll just more customer service based, basically. So I mean, no, that's the different levels that I've seen so far.
So one of my questions is competitions. You just brought that up. So competitions in America, how important is in the barbering industry to have competitions?
For the barber industry, as far as the getting product out, advertising to the barbers and things like that, the prizes that they actually give out in return for the competitions, as an introduction from the barbers to come in and see what's out there, to get a hands-on feel. You know, it was some tools out there that I probably wouldn't have purchased online if I didn't go in there and actually have a representative talk to me and let me know, like, hey, this is where it's coming from, this is the weight, this is the feel, this is all the attachments and everything of that nature. So it gives you a different look at the game. Sometimes I have some guys that didn't even believe they can do it coming out of barber college, and we would get them in there and they would compete and they would win second place, first place, third place, you know, and it was just getting that exposure. So it works on both things, you know. I've never entered myself. I just actually just went there just to go root them on and, you know, go see what they did, you know, and buy a lot of product.
Yeah, competitions for me have done my career great. I've got a couple of my awards just on the back there, which I won over the years, wet shave competitions. I'm a wet shave specialist. And obviously, like, one of my questions is education, like teaching the youngsters. I go to colleges and teach people. Do you teach apprentices over there? Are you into education sides and helping other youngsters?
I'm actually on the board of representatives for the colleges. So what I actually do is
sorry, brother. 1 second. Let me just jump in. Where's that to? Texas, yeah.
Well, in Texas. This is going to be in Dallas, Texas, Ferguson campus. Texas Barber College, Ferguson Road. It's considered the hood over here, but if you made it through there, man, you can make it through anything. I promise you, if you make it off that campus. But it showed me a lot, and it actually brought me to go back to give back. So when I go there, I'm actually on the board to tell them what the textbook should be like, what's in your barber kits, what's useful and what's not, what they should enhance and what they should do as far as helping you pass a state board to get licensing, things of that nature. So
how much is it over there to get a barbering license once you finish education?
Man, it really depends. It's state to state. So like in Texas, it was $1,500. It's gonna run you maybe a few grand depending on your grants and how you get approved. Now my son, he was in Los Angeles. He's a barber too. He came straight out of high school, and became a barber, and he had to do $1,700. But his cost was lower because he was in Los Angeles.
And you can obviously charge a little bit more as well because the prices are quite extortionate in California, I've been told. Is that right?
I can't speak on that.
Depends on what part, I suppose.
It depends on what part. Yeah, I know the cost of living is up there, man. So I mean, California, from Hollywood to the hood, it really depends on the art, like how good you are.
Yeah. So obviously, like, you know, obviously you mentioned your son being a barber. Obviously, is it something which runs in the family with you guys over there, or are you just like, you know, couple of you doing it?
Okay, well, I've done it. My middle son has done it, and my youngest boy has done it. So
yeah, man.
I'll go back to the elementary schools and I do career day. And I'll go and speak to I represent the barbers. Like when I was in career day, I'd never seen a barber in career. You know what I mean? So I've always seen that it was a shortage. So when I jumped into career day and started going to the school and let them know how cool it is to be a barber and the steps that you need to take. Now, like my daughter, she's talking about doing hair. You know what I mean? So I might pull her into the game too, and then give her all the education in the game to let her build her brand and let her get going.
Cool, man. That sounds brilliant. So obviously you're in your shop. Let's have a little talk about your shop. Obviously, got a few pictures in the background there. Is there then any celebrities up there, or is it just family and friends?
Yeah, due to COVID, it brought me into a different situation. I live right above my shop.
Same
Basically,
here.
this picture, I don't know if you can see, is a photo of a barber shop with all your black comedians, and it's a big scene within the barber shop. And I have a few celebrities, man, from past that I've met and encountered from different shop encounters and things like that. So you might step in and might see a few people, current players, ex-players, actors, different people, friends, of course, clients, and of course, Kansas City Chiefs fan. We didn't make it this year. We'll be back. So I always represent KC. I was born in Kansas City, but raised in California. So
Okay, cool, man. Cool, cool, cool. Sounds amazing, brother. Like obviously, like the history of your shop. Like how long have you had your shop for, bro?
I ended up coming into a shop with my uncle. He was a barber. He married into the family.
Yeah.
And as I was transitioning from that company that I was working for and coming out of college, I came out to Frisco, Texas, which is north of Dallas, Texas. And I jumped in with a company, and it didn't work out too well. Then the pandemic and things hit right soon after that. And then I ended up coming as an independent barber into a suite within a year. So as far as just being in this section, about 5 years, just in this city alone, and building a reputation as a lot of schools are around here. It's the #1 city to move to in Frisco, Texas. So I wanted to come out here and establish a new location and a new vibe, and more lively feel for barbering, and get into a new shop out this way once everything gets more under wraps with COVID and things.
Mm, yeah. What's it like over there with the COVID, brother?
It's crazy. Prior to COVID, finding out globally what was going on, I had spoken to a mortician, and they were saying that because we cut so much hair, that we inhale a lot of it that we don't know about, and it has a chance to sit under our lungs. And barbers, we don't really talk about that in our industry. So I had began wearing face masks, ordering it like way before the pandemic, and I seen the prices of it like $7.99 for like 100. And after the first of the year, close to December, I noticed packaging started coming in late. My supplies started coming in late, and then it started getting a little bit more expensive. Then I started noticing, like, man, like something's going on. I just didn't know what it was. So, I went throughout the shop and was like, hey, man, is everybody packages coming in late from overseas? And they're like, yeah, yeah. And then the prices of the masks started going up. So I'm like, man, what's going on? So I think right after COVID had passed, man, it really had became a big thing to where one Saturday they just came in and they just shut us down. Bam. And it was a wrap. They had sent us an email throughout the states, throughout the Texas barber community, letting us know that the governor told us that we had to shut down until further notice. That Saturday, and then so we shut it down, and it was until further notice, and further notice went for months.
So are you currently shut down now?
We are the city of Dallas. It's considered to be shut down, but as far as the outskirts, it's allowing. But your clientele base has dwindled down to very scarce because of that. So, and then with kids going off to college, and the whole uncertainty of everything that's going on from our new transition of power to our current transition of power, it kind of like we're really now getting a grip on what's really out there, and getting the ball moving again. So hopefully we can see our schools filling back up. We can see our theaters, our barber shops, our beauty salons, and we're getting back to normal. But as far as now, we have different patches of places that shut down. Like California's real bad. Different places are different bad, different counties are, and the numbers are just going crazy. So right now it's just getting the, I guess they're saying getting the vaccines out, the vaccinations and things going to get better.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're all praying for a brighter future this year, aren't we, brother? Just a little bit of good news over in the UK. I saw earlier one of our events is going ahead. Barber UK is going ahead in July. You normally get a good few thousand people there. I'm on the main stage quite a lot there. I've been on the main stage the last five years there now. No, 6 years, 2015. Yeah, every year since 2015. So it's a great event for us barbers. So the UK barbers who are watching this and watching this back later, we've actually got an event, which is good, which is bloody great news for us guys, because we need it, man. This brother, listen, we did the full 2020 with no, open, close, no events. We need the events, man. They're such an iconic part of our industry. We all connect together. It's where ideas are built, brother. And as you know, what's it been like over there? Is there any events coming up over there?
Man, I may have seen one event throughout this whole thing, maybe two. After that, it wasn't really any pictures, anything that you would normally see on that scale, as if you just see a Brown Brothers show or a Vegas Pro show or a Vegas event or any of those guys. It's not on the scale that it was. I can't even tell you what's going on as far as the barber colleges right now. I know a lot of it is online.
Yeah.
So like the shows and things, the venues, they're not available because of the restrictions that we have throughout the cities and the different counties and stuff. So like Dallas is more south of Frisco. So you would have larger venues, more known areas that they would come in and sponsor those events. And right now those areas are closed. So that's a restriction within itself. Even us allow us to even get in there to get back to get the ball rolling to even have those events to kind of rub elbows with our barber brothers and really get out there and get back to the culture of it,
You might have to jump over to the border to Mexico to get to a BarberCon, but hey, saying that much, you gotta get past that wall. Man, brother. But yeah, sort of like going on to like obviously like the media side of barbering. Obviously, social media has been massive. Especially over the last few years, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, all this type of stuff. Do you use the social media, brother?
Yeah, man. I have my social media accounts. So I have Instagram, Phalon Mcknight, Instagram. I have Facebook to connect with old family members and friends in high school, just to keep that, of information going and anything promoting that I'm doing and stuff like that. I'm not your greatest at it because I have a lot of things going. Since the pandemic, I actually went to training to open up firearm training, license to carry out here.
Yeah, I did notice on your page, man, that you put some stuff up. Let's have a little chat about that, bro. Go into that, bro.
Yeah, when they shut us down, I had to, go back into other things and learn some training. So I went into that. But I have so many different accounts and things that I work. So I'm into social media, but it's hard to keep in that balance without a mediator hired on to help with all those different accounts. But yeah, it definitely helps. Definitely helps.
Yeah.
Do you guys use Google out there a lot?
Well, we don't really use Google as in advertising much. It's normally Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. That's all the sort of main ones which are being used. I've used a few of them. Some I don't really go on with, some I don't really like. But again, with us being closed at the moment, brother, there's no point in advertising for customer or business. At the end of the day, we can't cut out at the moment. They're looking at opening us maybe sort of like Easter time, which is quite a while away, and it's disappointing, really. I'm devastated at the way they treated us, really, as barbers, because like you said, we got all the PPE and stuff, and we're a safe environment. We sterilize our tools. We're a lot cleaner than most other businesses, brother. And we're closed, And
Yes.
what's your feeling about the way we've been treated. We've been treated. You know, the hair salons. What's your
Um,
opinion?
they was treating us like we're non-existent, really. At the end of the day, we represent every essential worker on the end to keep them business ready for any occasion or anything that they represent, or any business that's open, and that's across America. Um, During the times, because they shut us down, I was offered money to cut, but I had to turn it down because because of what they told us that we had to do, and the restrictions basically. So it was crazy how they just came out the blue, shut us down. I understood what was going down at the time, but at the same time, it was like acknowledge us at the same time. Like, we have business shops that's shutting down. You have rent that has to be continued to be paid in these large scale shop environments. And like out here, if you don't work, you don't eat. If you don't grind, you don't shine. So it's like, if like Marshawn Lynch said, if you didn't put away no chickens for times like this, what's going to happen when it's time to eat? Like, what about the barbers that were just coming out of the game? Like 8%, it's a real short percentage of barbers that can actually take the transition to become a barber. So the ones that were coming out of school, a lot of those didn't go to continue being a barber because of the pandemic. They had to take other avenues. So it wasn't nothing really to help anybody in these times like this. It was kind of like every man for themselves at that point. And it felt like they turned their back on this industry and really didn't appreciate us until it was time to get the beards and the afros and needing that service to say, hey, like, my dog is barking at me when I come home now. They don't even recognize me. I need some service done. So it was kind of like it was, and we lost a lot of the community, man. It's like people needed to come into those shops to actually talk. It was therapeutic for some people, so I could imagine now with the suicide rate going in up higher from being locked in and enclosed with people, or not being it with people. Spousal abuse has went up dramatically. So it's like, for everyone across the globe or across the world, it's affected us. But for the industry that we're in, man, I think it's going to take us a longer time to get back to where we were just now getting to, because we've come a long way.
I know, it's gutting, man, because like the barber game was getting so good before this happened. We were having all these new tools, barbers were on fire, all these, Rob the original, and all these people like Sophie were getting like mad likes on Instagram, which just helps all of us barbers. If one barber's making it, we're all making it, brother. Do you know what I mean? We're a small community. And I just want to shout out to all my American barbers out there who are on the grind. And you, brother, you've been on the grind. And I just want to just say, listen, we're on our grind as well, man. As UK barbers, we've been trying to keep it as 100% as possible. And they're just taking that away from us, closing us down. It's so deflating. And it's like, we got to keep ourselves like, on the high spirits, on the high vibration. We got to keep supporting each other, brother. And this is why I did SweeneyTV, to keep everybody's flame going, And I don't want to see people leaving the industry. We've had a lot of businesses closed down in the UK. I've lost 2 well-established 20-year businesses in Cardiff, which just closed because, whether they've had inside information, I don't know, but they just barbers. And it's not good, brother, So what I was going to say, closing businesses over there, are you seeing a lot of that over there? Like, not just barbering, but with just most shops.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of, man, all the way from restaurants to businesses that just had opened. Large companies are shutting down or downsizing. Most of your barber shops took a hit, they're shut down, or they're going to where if there's a distance area that you have to meet in certain areas, now there's 10 barbers in that shop. You're now cutting half your staff in half just to get the spacing right. So now they were mentioning trying to have barbers come in like swing shifts, and different things like that. So imagine that with scheduling. Now you need extra time to prepare and clean your tools and things like that, and let them sit and make sure everything is disinfected and sanitized. So it's like adding all that time, you're losing time in the time that you have in the day and in that schedule. You're cutting a lot in half plus a percentage of your half in half. So the best thing I can say is, is to, we have to figure ways out to maintain and keep our industry afloat by doing the things that you're doing, and I appreciate you, man, from bridging this gap from here to there, just to be able to look into your world and see what's going on, man. It's amazing. You know what I'm saying? And I salute you, man. And I appreciate what you're doing for the industry and what you've been doing for the game, man. It's crazy.
Thank you, my brother. I was born into the game at a young age. 13 I started, and obviously with a surname like Sweeney, it's inevitable really that I was going to end up in this industry. But yeah, I love it, bro. I've been to all these competitions. I've been in the boxing ring shaving up against the best shavers in the world. I've also worked for massive companies. I've worked for Andis. I've worked for Fab Hair Tonics. I've worked for Spencer Scissors, all these major company and brands. And I just want to say to everyone, like, word of advice, and obviously for the youngsters getting into the industry, like, branding yourself is so important. And obviously, brother, you understand this, and this is what I want to go into next. And one of my next questions. Let's talk to the youngsters about branding, how important it is to get yourself at a branding level straight away as soon as you start.
It's very important, man. It's the most important thing you can do. Once you enroll into your school and you begin to get that ball rolling, start with your brand, because it's one thing about it. Like when I was in school, we had an instructor. He loved the game. His name was Sensei. And we named him Sensei because he looked as, we were his students. So what he would tell us, he was like, my wife can kick me out the house. She can have everything. But as long as I get my barber kit, I can go anywhere. So when I was in school, I was like, man, that's powerful. Like, you mean to tell me, like, you can give her everything, but as long as you have this kit right here, that's all you want out that house. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, hey, this is some real stuff. So I ended up taking it from there, man, and starting my own brand and things like that. And because I helped him get some of his product going in school, because I had a design company. So with having my design company and stuff like that, I started in school to start branding myself. So you can go anywhere with this. So if you have your brand can be as bigger than where you're at any given time. So it's very important to start it off from the beginning, because it's a process. It's a marathon, it's a race. So once you stay at it and you build that, it's going to take some time and some patience, but it's going to pay off in the end, and you'll be able to see a lot more in the end, and that payoff, man, and it's going to be big. So start your brand. Wear your logos. Invest in yourself. Invest in your tools. Like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where it's at. Anytime you see it, it's good. You know what I mean? Grandmaster Barber. You make, every time that they see you, you step out of that house, you're representing you. And if you invest in yourself, then that money's going to come back in a different form. It's going to come back and give something out free, man. Don't be hesitating. Like, all my kids, let me tell you a little secret. This is what I'll do. I have a printing company, so I'll go buy like all the t-shirts from the 99-cent store, $1, right? I go buy all these different orange, green, lime, all these different color shirts, and I'll print my logo, and I'll say like crazy thing like, hey, my barber cut me, or my barber cuts at this, or some kind of crazy thing, and I'll have them off these shirts. And now when they're going out to these practices, soccer games, basketball games, I have little billboards running around this thing. You know what I'm saying? So advertise it, invest in your brand, and start it, man, and get it going. It'll pay off in the end, but it's very important. They cannot take that away from you.
Definitely, man. Well, I got a little story as well, but where we went to Turkey 2017 and did the Turkish Hair Festival. I was representing the UK along with Enver, Robert Grosvenor, Antilla, Ujil, and we were in a competition against the Iranians and the Turkish over there. And it was like just a show, one like, you know, anything like, you know, like winning many or anything. It was just like, it was like a demonstration of like competition work that we could do. And when I went over there, I took a load of t-shirts with me, and on the back I had the hashtag Keep It Barber. And when I got over there, the amount of people who were like trending that Keep It Barber then, who were at the event, because everyone was walking around wearing the t-shirts, they all had their hoodies, caps. Do you know what I mean? And it didn't cost me much. It cost me about 80 quid to get all my merch done. But like to have everybody in Turkey, like I was throwing jumpers off the balcony, they were like screaming like fans, yo, throw us some merch.
Yeah.
And it was just good, and it's really important to get your branding straight nowadays. But that's all I want to say, really. But yeah, man. So going on to my sort of next question, OG barbers in the industry, idols. Let's talk about who you look up to. Have you got any famous barbers, or who do you look to in the magazines or the shows? Like,
man,
or any just OG barbers from like when growing up, coming off the block, you know?
Well, like I said, like the shows and things didn't recently come about out here, so we really caught on to it. It's like recently in a couple of past years or so. So, I salute everybody that's on the stage at that point, but I really give it up to the people that's on the bottom level. You know what I mean? But I've met a bunch of barbers, the guy that cuts Usher's barber. It's a lot of people in the game with so many to name, man. It's just crazy. But I really want to give it up to the people that, like, you know, they start from the ground up and they get on that shop level and just boss up. You know, that's the ones, because I go to a lot of different local area barbers that never touch the stage or never get that recognition, and go step in those spots and just chop it up with their people, man, and get, just give them recognition and stuff like that. But like shops like North Dallas, we have shops in North Dallas. We have Phase of Glory over in North Dallas. We have a lot of different areas that that just tend to the community and never get that respect that they should, or that shine. So shout out to all my people that's doing it on that level, selling the barbecue in the shops, letting the artists come through, sell paint, paintings and different artworks, and the cake ladies at the different places that travel and give back to the needy and things like that. So I want to give a big out to those people that keep the glue of the shops going, man. Without them, we wouldn't have a country club,
Definitely, bro. So obviously, like styles and fashion over there, like when you're open, like, are you doing flat tops, are you doing mullets, are you doing fades, like, what's your daily routine but over there?
Man, to be honest with you, man, we was sponge crazy. I don't know if you know the twist sponges.
Yeah, I got one. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like we was sponge crazy for a minute. So like it went from the Mohawks to the South of France. Curtis that did the South of France for Usher, like he made that thing to skyrocket, man. We were doing that. Then we start plugging in the designs on the side or on the back here. We had a lot of the comb overs, the drop fades with the parts, for most of our soccer players. But I really say that the NBA has a lot to do with the fashion that happens out here, because they see a lot of these guys on TV, on television, and they'll come in and want to mimic those cuts. So I'll get a lot of kids with the phone like, hey, make me look like this person. Just yesterday, I had to cut a little kid that he plays basketball, but he wanted to look like the kid from the Miami Heat. And he had to put me up on the guy. So I'm like, okay, so this is what we're doing now. So it was like a drop fade, he had it kind of like spiky on the top, with a little part right here. So I'm saying, okay. So the NBA has a lot of the influence that's going on. And some of your rappers, man, collectively, I think that's the styles that's going on right now. And that's the swag that they want. So, you know, you're going from the twist to locked up or whatever like that.
Well,
So
that's what I was going to ask you. The Little Wayne look down south is massive. You got a lot of people with the Little Wayne look, with the dreads and the tattoos on the face. Is that really popular down them ways?
yeah, it's pretty popular, man. And the NBA is doing it for us. Like you say, you see a lot of like NFL, they're wearing them off the helmets and stuff like that. But me, I personally, you know, I'm so busy servicing other clients and things like that. I had to go ahead and lock me up too, man, and just to go ahead and throw it up in a you know, some man fun and a man bun and keep it going. But the fashion, it's crazy, man. We've seen, I've seen now. To be honest with you, I'm not trying to expose the game or any man out there, because you know these are private clients and stuff like that with other people. But they're doing enhancement for the men now, adding hair, what they would call the McDonald arches and things like that, or the top here. They're actually, it's a lane for that. So people are getting private suites to accommodate that type of client to do that enhancement. Now that's something more than your, you know, your either your paint or your, you know, hair follicles and things like that. I looked into doing, because it's been a question of how to, you know, get a fuller head of hair. And it's ranging from anything in we can, like out here, from like 150 to $300, you know, to get that done. So and I've seen some guys that will actually get the mohawk, I mean the twist, and they don't have hair here and actually flipping it up. So the game is changing, man. It's not just women doing certain enhancement with the game, with the hair and stuff like that. Men are actually not embarrassed no more to actually get certain things taken care of in that nature, and they're paying for it just as far as what the females were doing in the shop.
Yeah, man. It's the evolution of our industry is constantly evolving all of the time. You know,
All
some of the
the time.
stuff is acceptable, some of it's a bit mad, some of it's a bit out there, some of it's great, but it's constantly evolving, and that's what I really enjoy about barbering. Um, Obviously, like, you know, what's to come for your future, my brother? You know, what's your game plan for 2021?
Man, 2021, man, is to love everyone. Spread peace throughout the world, man, and live healthy. Actually, get a little bit of healthy life, start working out. And my goal is to open up a bigger shop north of Frisco. You know, it's the number one city to move to right now. So my thing is to open up a larger shop and kind of have it like the barbershop, the last movie, The Next Cut. They had it was more multicultural, diverse up in there. So I want to have it to where once you walk in there, man, you see not just one face of barbering. I don't want to just
Mm,
see
mm,
black barbers or Hispanic barbers when you walk
mm,
into a shop. I want to see it to where it's
mm.
multicultural when you walk in there and have that feel. You know what I mean? That way when you walk in there, man, we can talk about any and everything and don't have to pull back and worry about like if a client or somebody else comes in there, hey, this is our culture and this is what we're doing. So I want to build that
Mm,
atmosphere
mm,
and have probably one of the first that, you know, actually
mm.
be successful. And then we branch off and then brand it on to like you know, throughout the Dallas Metroplex.
That's perfect that you mentioned that as well. Like these questions are just like they're just so fluent and flowing. But my next question was music inside the barbershop. Um, Over here we've got this music called drill music, right? And it's quite popular on the radio, but it's a very low vibrational music for the shop. And I prefer to listen to old school hip hop, preferably quite clean. But what I've noticed lately is I've started playing chill out, and it seems to be much better. And I'm getting bigger tips. When I was open, obviously I'm closed now, but when I was open, I was playing chill out music, and I found the customer was a lot more relaxed. I just want to ask you the question: what type of vibes do you have in your shop or when you're cutting, brother?
I was most definitely kid friendly. I ain't gonna lie to you. It has to be kid friendly. We can play all your modern hip hops. Now, like my grandmother, I call her my OG. You know, she would call it racket. You know, y'all playing that racket or that noise. You know what I mean? So we would try to cater and make it as friendly, shop friendly, and stuff like that as much. But most of the barbers, when I'm in like the hood, oh, no R&B at all. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, no, we can cut that out. It's just like we're gonna rough it out. But it's still gonna be clean music. But the drum music has taken it's coming here, man. It's like, you know, I mean, we actually like Pop Smoke is actually the leader of, you know, I heard he tapped into you guys and one like a DJ out there, a producer, and he was one of the first ones to bring it out here to the States. And it's actually it's doing a wave out here, you know what I mean? And it's a different thing to music, it's a different approach into the culture of the music. So I big up that whole style, that whole thing of music. Um my thing is I'm gonna try to have it to where it's like I said, it's playing everything. Just keep it clean. That way nobody's left out and everybody can feel good when everything's going. You know what I mean? And I can see what you know what we have in the building. We have some old school, blend in with some new school, and then hey, you know, we have fun.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. The mothers normally like the R&B when I got the R&B on in the shop. They seem to be loving them vibes, honestly, when I used to play a bit of R&B back in the day. But yeah, man, it's like, like I think music sometimes so important to like get the good vibes in the shop. It's good that you play clean music. I was speaking to this girl about probably 6, 7 years ago. She was from California. Sorry, she's from Las Vegas, Nevada, and she was working in a hair salon there. And they were playing a lot of the, West Coast hardcore, just lots of swearing and she used to say like most of her clients just didn't appreciate being sat in that type of environment, but the boss was adamant that they wanted that music on, and they'd be pumping it all day. And I was thinking, and for
I
some
mean,
reason the boss was just happy with it, and I'm just thinking like all she had to do was just play clean music, and it would be a better atmosphere. But you know, it is what it is, I suppose. Some people run their businesses different to us. You know what I mean?
well, you know, statistically, man, they say R&B music, you make more money listen to R&B music. You know what I
Of
mean? But
course, of course.
out
Well,
there on the West Coast, you
the other
know, it's
trick, the other trick
active.
I learned as well, but is reggae. Reggae is brilliant. I've had so many people. I had this one CD. Chris the Barber got it for me. He's mad on his reggae. He downloaded it, and I can't remember what it was. I can't remember. But anyway, it was a mixtape, and I used to have it on the shop, and lots of people used to message me saying, "Yo, what was that music you were playing earlier?" And I'd be like, "Oh, it's a mixtape. I'll see yourself live, whatever."
Universal
No one could ever
music.
find it. But it was one of them golden gems. But I had this Trinidad barber come over, Ash. And he goes, "Oh, let me lend it for the car," and I'd never seen it again, bro. Man's in Scotland now, rapping in Scotland.
So you guys have like a lot of studios out there and like underground artists that do, you know, like local music and shows and things like that, like on this scene.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We got a big underground culture in Cardiff, and a lot of youngsters doing stuff on Instagram. A lot of stuff which you won't see on like mainstream media stuff. Like the underground scene in the UK for music for the youngsters is massive at the moment. I don't know if you know, but I DJ myself. I have a few of the youngsters come over. They do some bars with me. I just play some beats and that's one of my hobbies on the side. But yeah, man, it's a good underground culture really, and it's heavily involved with the barbering industry, and it's like this. It's the same with the hip hop game over in America. It's linked to the barbering industry, and it's good that like the hip hop culture, from the caps to the hoodies to the jeans, is in the barbering community, and it's quite diverse now. It's all different types of people, wearing different stuff. It's good. And again, like that's what I was going to say. Like you guys over in the States, like it's a totally different setup to how you work to how we work, because we work on the basis of um one in one out sort of system, and then we've gone into booking, where you guys are like booking from the start. Would you agree with that?
Well, I couldn't catch the last part of that.
So we were a walking barbershop, so people would just come in, have a haircut, and wait and go. Like with
Yeah.
you guys, you've always been appointments, really, haven't you?
Nah, I mean originally, it was you know the
Walking
culture
service,
was
same as
walk in.
us.
Yeah, you walk
Yeah.
in, and you know you have your personal barber. But now, since the evolution of everything happening with Booksy and these different companies and things of that nature, a lot of booking agents are allowing them to book, making it more convenient from the barber, and then like a lot of your payment things now are allowing you to tap in with booking appointments through your payment setups. So
Do you
it's
do you use a booking app, bro?
yeah, man. Um, pri- for the COVID thing set in, man, you couldn't see me unless you know me. Like you got to tap in like a few weeks in advance, bro. Or other than
I
that,
got
you
the
can
same problem, my G.
say hi to me. Now you come in any day when I'm working. Like there's no problem. But to sit in the chair is gonna be a whole different situation. So
Yeah.
I have been able to build up that business. And then once this hit, man, it was just like wow, boom. So now because of because of COVID, everybody is forced to take the appointment approach now because it's part of the culture now to start doing that and involving that into your what you call them. So once we get back to full go, we should be, you know what I mean, allowing people to come back in and just, come check us out. Because I'm hoping to open up something soon, man, once they allow us to go, full go.
And obviously, like this isn't a political channel; it's a barber chat cast or podcast, whatever you want to call it. But what the state of the American government at the moment with Biden taking over? What's your feelings on that, bro?
Man, well, first of all, I need to personally ask you, like, when you was watching that on TV, like, what did y'all feel like? Because, like, personally here,
Right,
I'm gonna let you know, but I want to ask to be able to ask someone from over there, like, how did
I'll
you?
break it down now. I'll give you the short version. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Right. So where we are in the UK, we've been watching this from the start, and a lot of my friends are big on Trump. They love Trump. I've been saying that Trump's an actor from the start. I've always said that his WWF role in WWE was practice for this role. He's a deep insider. He's playing a double bluff, but he's a triple agent. He's playing them, and he's if you know about triple agents, he's a triple agent. So he is doing good for people because his actions, it's all about actions, bro. People can talk about keeping people safe, but if you're locking everyone down and destroying everything, your actions speak louder than words as far as I'm concerned. So when I said that Biden was going to get in, okay? I said that, I called it way before. I called loads of stuff. I'm very clued up on stuff, buddy, yeah? And I said he was going to get in, and he got in. And then we watched the inauguration of him, and the military are there, and it's embarrassing, bro. And storming the Capitol and everything which happened in there, it's embarrassing. It's a massive letdown to your country. It doesn't look good. Donald Trump, he didn't get impeached after, which is another embarrassment. And the whole political system in the US and the UK needs to come down because the people who are running things are not very good at running things, bro. And that's my political view. And I hope I don't get this taken down now. This is a great interview, but that's my political version.
I personally, I think that times change and situations need to change from the people that are in high places. There's no way that a person from back then can relate to certain times that's going on, especially in different areas of neighborhoods and things like that have changed. They haven't seen some of those places in years, let alone like ever even lived in them to even visit them in the first place. So 45 to me was that was a pot on high that's waiting to boil over. Eventually something's gonna have to show their face.
45 as in you mean Trump, yeah?
Yeah.
Just for the UK, because they're not up on the lingo, brother, yeah?
45 was it was to me it was a show, like you said. It was something that was televised to be a show, and eventually it turned into like MTV's type of.
It turned into wrestling. It was a wrestling match. It was a political, verbal wrestling match.
And then it spilled over and it got out of hand. So now we're dealing with the after effects. My thing is you have to lead by example, man. And right now they're not leading by example. And I also got an update that he's free off of whatever happened from the insurgents, the thugs that went in there and caused fears in those lives.
Brother, listen, I watched a few live feeds and it didn't look that bad. Like, I'll be honest with you, it looked like a big football gathering. like American, like when when everyone's in the car park just before the game eating burgers, and it looked like that, bro. And like they're gonna make a meal of it. He didn't get done in the end, Trump. It's just, again, it's theatre, bro. It's just theatre, and hopefully, these clowns will just disappear, and we'll finally get some decent people running things, bro. And hopefully get us out of this mess, because it does seem very fabricated, this pandemic, doesn't it?
Well, what my thing was at the end of it, man, is just the children of the parents that lost their lives in those situations, that they're able to recover from this in the long run. Now, we can do the whole political thing and from views, but those children that were affected, that was my main thing. You know what I mean? Because we can go to sleep at night and this week and it'll die down, but they have to deal with that from the rest of their lives, the lost parents from those days. So I hope their hearts can heal, and they can heal from what's going on in this world, from and it won't affect them up here and here. You know what I mean? I hope that can be a better outcome for them.
Brilliant, brother, brilliant. So obviously we come to the last sort of hour. Are you going to bring a guest on? Have you got a guest to come on, or it's just you?
Man, it was just me, unfortunately.
No, it's all good, brother. It's all good. Listen, I tell you what we do. In a couple of weeks' time, I'll get you back on with another American barber, yeah?
That'll work, man.
We'll do a part 2.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
So keep in touch, my brother. Thank you very much. It's been a brilliant nice insight into the US barbering. Be safe over there, my brother. And any last words for the students, or people in the barbering industry, or any shout outs to anybody you want to give some love to?
Hey man, last words. I'll say like this: if you get into it, man, go hard in the paint. Don't stop. Only person that can stop you is you. You know what I mean? So stay focused. Nobody gonna say it's gonna be easy. So if you put in the hard work, it's gonna be a good outcome. And always keep God first, man. Whoever you may serve, whatever you look up to, whatever keep them forward in you, and keep pushing. And don't let nobody stop you. And big out to all the barbers that's out there that's already doing their things, man. Just stay focused, baby. You know what I mean? They're gonna let us out of here in a minute. You know what I mean? Big up to you, man. I appreciate you for having me, man, and bridging that gap, bro. I'm looking to come out there, man. And I tapped into that movie.
Of course.
Top Boy.
Top Boy. Yeah, it's a UK show, man. Check it out. It's gives you a little bit of culture for over here. It's a bit rough and ready, it's a bit raw, but you'll like it, man. You'll like it. It's a bit like the British version of The Wire.
Hey, I'm into it already. I started this morning, man. So yeah. I'm tapping in.
Wicked. Brilliant, man. Yo, my G. Yo, Phalon Mcknight, P the Barber, Sean Swiss, Sweeney HQ. We are done. Thank you, my brother. Take care.
One.
Bless, brother. Bless. So, SweeneyTV, that was our first American guest on. Phalon Mcknight, P the Barber, over in Texas. Yeah, brilliant interview. And I just want to say thank you for everybody who's been watching. And we will be back tomorrow at 6 o'clock with the 4 Nations barbers. We've had a change of the Welsh guest. So we've got a new barber coming on instead. He's a great guy, good friend of mine, former work colleague, actually used to work for me. So Matt Johns, big up. See you tomorrow at 6 o'clock, yeah?